Hello, how are you doing? Poof, 2 weeks went by. I was looking at it, I was like, it's been a few days since I went live. And then I looked back and I realized that it was August the 5th. That was the last day that I went live. Now, I could give you lots of excuses, not the least of which is August the 5th would have been my dad's birthday. Of course, there's some stuff that goes along with that. But I'm not here to make excuses. I really could not begin to even guess to tell you what's happened in the last 2 weeks. Um, that it has been 2 weeks. I can totally tell you all the things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. And that's what I'm here to tell you to a little bit today, to give you an update, to spend a little bit of time with you, to encourage you, and to be positive together, to make the difference that only we can make in this world right here, right now, today. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of, I'm actually working on book 20 right now. And I have a whole bunch of others. In fact, I started working on a new one that's just kind of stirring around inside of me last night at about 11:30. So lots of cool stuff. I need to actually launch out book 19 and book 20 so that you can actually read them rather than me just talking about them. So much going on, so many cool things, and I'm so looking forward to being able to share all of it with you. I do have a couple of authors that are getting ready to launch their books out over the course of the next couple of weeks, and I've got a couple of other people, some of you know who you are, that are working on their books, and there's a few others of you that know that you're ready, that we've talked, that you're ready to move forward. My great delight in life, of course, is my ability to be able to help you maximize while it's today. I've been a marketing company since 1988, been in internet space since before we even knew to call it the internet. Um, I remember when the Internet Explorer browser was created. I remember the internet before there was even browsers, back when we actually called it bulletin boards, and you had to log in individually, directly dial into each of the specific websites, if you will. They were platforms, but each of the specific servers that you wanted to look at stuff off of. We've come a long way since the early to mid 90s, and I'm excited about where we are today, about the opportunities that we have, about the potential that's there, but mostly about the blessing that I get to be able to reach out to you and help you see that it isn't just that your cloud has a silver lining, but really, actually, there was never a cloud there. It was actually just bars of silver covered with cotton candy as a snack and a treat for you. Now, when you're going through it, it doesn't feel that way. And sometimes it can get so dark, so dark. There are times when I've felt it, and I'm sure you have too, where life just doesn't seem worth it, doesn't seem like enough, and it doesn't feel like anything or all that you've done has made any difference. But I'm here to tell you that each and every day that you have shown up as you have and do make a difference. And there's so much more coming, so much more, exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask for, or even anything that you could think of, is coming for you in your life. But you've got to be ready for it. You have to take up the opportunity. You have to snatch it. You have to be willing to jump out, not just out on the skinny branch, but leap out into the nothing, to be willing to allow the something to come into your life. Some of you followed me on my journey as I've moved eastward. I am currently at my uncle's house. For those of you that don't know, my uncle did pass away, and he's now in heaven. We had the memorial service. That would have been last Thursday. I've been here helping my mom, and helping with different things and different stuff like that. My oldest brother, Bert, is going to be here right towards the end of the month, probably more like a few days into the first of next month. And we'll just see where this adventure continues to take us. So many exciting opportunities, cool conversations that I've had even as soon as yesterday. I'm looking forward to the ones that are going to happen today, to the people that are ready to maximize while it's called today. Is that you? Do you have something burning inside of you and you don't know what to do? It's been said, and I was thinking about this. It's actually kind of funny. I'll share with you behind the curtain because I always do. I went on, I used StreamYard to do these lives, and I came on to go live. I forgave myself for the fact that I don't know where I think I might know where they are actually. I need to look. But I don't really know where my collared shirts that I usually wear for lives are. Um, that's a whole nother story that we'll tell you some other time. But I looked at my face and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't shaved in several days. And so I literally, in the preview camera before I went live, I literally was shaving. I don't know how good of a job I did. May have to do a little bit more after this, but you love me still, don't you? But I was thinking about the old saying that says, if you want to get somebody done, find somebody that's too busy. And I think that's true. The people that are busy are the ones that are in action. A good friend of mine, Ernie Villanueva, I've quoted several of others of his things, but he said, it's impossible to move a parked car. Especially think about it. When a car's in park, you can get behind it and you can get 20, 30 guys behind it and push it. Now, you might be able to pick up the car, you've seen, maybe even participated in people moving cars to the tops of buildings and stuff like that. But to get a car to roll on its wheels when it's in park is impossible, really. The wheels are designed to not roll. I mean, that's the whole concept of it. Now, if you have a manual transmission, meaning a stick shift, you can put the car in neutral and the car will roll without being started, because then the wheels are allowed to begin to move freely. Anybody that's ever pushed a car will tell you, that it's that first few seconds of propelling the car to move at all that is the most of the effort that it takes. Once you get a car rolling, it's a lot easier to keep it rolling. Now, there's some challenges that can come into that. If the car has to go uphill, it becomes, and I'm talking about pushing it, it can become a struggle. And you could even get to the point where if the hill's big enough, the car would roll back on you. And that's where having things that help you propel the car, that's why the car has the engine. But it's impossible to move it at all until it starts moving. And getting it moving is where the hardest of the work comes. And then you get to those places where you chug up that mountain, like the little engine that could. I think I can. You're not sure, but you're going to keep trying. Keep pushing and keep chugging. But when you top over the top of that mountain, you can be like the little engine. You can toot your horn and say, I knew I could. And for you, on behalf of you, until you get to the top of that mountain and are soaring down this particular hill, because there will be a next one, won't there? I want you to know, I know you can. I believe in you. I see it. Sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's a curse. Having and being deeply empathic and feeling other people's feelings and being there for them. But it's really a blessing because it gives me the ability to be able to see even sometimes beyond what your own faith and sight can see at this particular moment. Sometimes it's little, sometimes it's just a little encouragement. And other times it's like a whole vision lays out and I can see such a huge, brilliant future. I have a couple of friends of mine, and I need to preface this by saying they're very close friends of mine. I know them really, really well. And I've spent enough time with them that my spirit knows their spirit. Do you understand the difference between, your brain knowing, your eyes seeing, and your spirit really engaging with somebody? And I can see the future for them. I see the amazingness of the world change that they are going to be. And you see, I say it that way because going back to what I said, because sometimes when I'm talking, it feels really random, doesn't it? You see, they're already in movement. Sometimes that movement to others may not seem or feel like movement, but I see you. I see how hard you struggle, all the work you do, and the little things. You see, movement isn't based on a critique of what somebody else is doing, has done, or will do. It's based on where are you today? What are the pains and struggles and emotional triumphs that you've made it through? For some people, swinging their legs out of the bed and standing up out of the bed is a victory when all we really want to do is just lay there and sleep. For some people, just getting to the point where the tears are no longer flowing is a huge success and giant action for them, because yesterday they couldn't stop crying. For others, we can go even deeper into this. The tears finally rolling down your face is the most massive sign of movement, because the things that you weren't willing to let loose are finally coming out. You see, and I always say this, the problem with breakthrough is nobody wants to talk about the breaking or the through. Some of you went with me, and if you didn't, you can go back and watch the videos, because I did one for you at least once a day, a couple of times sometimes. Went with me on this journey as I've moved east. I was talking to my lawyer, actually, and without going into the whole conversation, because it was a conversation with a lawyer, I said to her, I said, well, if I had to critique myself, if I had to define where I live right now, I'd say really I'm kind of a homeless person. I'm indoors, you can see, I'm inside of a building. I'm happy, safe, warm, and loved. And I don't know whether I'll be here for another several weeks. I know I'm going to be here for a few weeks anyway. Or maybe 20 years from now, I'll be in this same exact spot coming to you. I don't know. I'm okay with the not knowing. And that's an exciting adventure in and of itself. But getting here, it was a challenge. It was a surprise every day. When I left California and headed east, because I knew I needed to come here to help my mom, to take care of her. At the time, thinking that possibly I was going to help take care of her brother as well. And then that, of course, God decided it was his time to go. But when I left, I called my mom and I said, okay, I'm on the road. The thing says that it's 24 hours of driving. So I'll be there in either 24 hours or maybe 24 days. You see, prior to stepping out on that leap of faith that I knew I needed to do, I hadn't driven really more than about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, but really about an hour in a stretch in any given one time where I was the one driving. I'd ridden in a car a little longer than that, but where I was the one behind the wheel, I hadn't really done it for more than about an hour in any given one stretch. Now, the one I'm thinking of is a doctor's office that I went to that was just a little bit more than an hour from my house. So I had to go to the appointment, wait like you do for doctors, and then drive home after the appointment. So you could say that I, in one day, drove 2-3 hours total, but about an hour and a half max in one stretch. And so, I didn't know. And many of you, or again, if you want to look back and see it, know that I made it here to central Kansas, what was listed as a 24 hours of driving time. You know how it is. The map makes it sound so easy. Oh yeah, just get in the car and drive for 24 hours and you'll be there. You don't have to stop to get gas or go to the bathroom or eat food or do anything. Just get in the car and drive for 24 hours straight. So easy for a map, right? It took me a little less than 4 days, 3 hotel stays, 1,500 miles, lots of the country, beautiful rainbows, times when I was exhausted and pulled off to the side of the road. 108 degrees was the highest temperature I saw on the temperature gauge on my dashboard. I read somewhere that at least one of the places I was 110 one time. Um, Very, very hot. And of course, I had little Mocha with me too, so I had to be mindful. There was one time when I stopped, you know, for all the things you stop for, we'll just leave it at that. And I actually hooked Mocha up to the leash, took her in with me because it was 108 degrees. I think it was 106 that particular time outside. Took her in with me. That's right. I took Mocha right into the bathroom right with me. What else was I going to do? I needed to, and I wasn't going to do that to my poor little doggo. And you do the things that you're going to do, and I'm here and I'm safe. And the last 2 weeks have flown by. The memorial service was last Thursday, and I've spent some time on the phone, and of course, a little bit of time there at her house with my cousin Kay, doing and being anything that I can for her. I love you, Kay, if you're listening. I'm here for you. And working with my mom and putting things in order here. And we'll just see what's next. It's an exciting adventure. And then poof, 2 weeks have gone by with, funeral planning and services and family coming and all of the things that are all of the things. And now I'm back here to share with you again just how incredible you are. You're amazing. You're incredible. Oh my gosh, the things you're going to do. Maybe you don't see them. Maybe we need to meet, and I need to share with you just how amazing you are. I had one of my authors that reached out to me. I'm not going to call her out by name, but the reply I had to say back to her, I hope it didn't feel harsh because it was meant in love, was, I'm here to do anything I can for you, but you also have to do what you've got to do. You see, I can get your story from you, but I can't tell you your story because I didn't live it. I can tell you my story. I do it all the time. That's why my quick Facebook Lives like this are 20, 30 minutes, right? Because I always have stories to tell. That's not me chiding you if you're going through the process of your life and poof, the last 2 weeks have gone by on you. It's just an encouragement to know that today is the only day we know for sure. Yesterday's gone. Anything that you need to apologize for, ask forgiveness over, and mostly more than anything, release from yourself so that yesterday doesn't drag with you. It's not an anchor pulling you back into the past, but something that you can cut and move freely through today without the restraints and the burden of yesterday on you, because you can't do anything about it. It's gone. 2 minutes ago is in the past. 2 seconds ago is in the past. When I just said 2 seconds ago, that's already in the past. The same is true with the future. Can't change it. You can do all you can do to make tomorrow better. But tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen. You go to bed at night and the day was beautiful and sunny. It was 108 degrees. And then you wake up the next morning and the clouds have rolled in. Or maybe you've driven another several hundred miles and you see off in the distance the thunder clouds beginning to swirl and the lightning flashing. Such an amazing sight to behold as I drove through that part of New Mexico, headed towards Albuquerque at the time. I wasn't actually in the rain, but I could see it. And oh, the rainbows, the promises, both the ones that have been fulfilled and more importantly, the ones still to come, shining through the sky, double rainbows, a whole swoop of the rainbow. And I posted some of those pictures. You can go back and look at them. And we move forward from the almost exhausting heat to now this wet rain. And what'll be next? You see, tomorrow will be whatever tomorrow's going to be, whether it's financial, spiritual, political, emotional, physical, any of those kind of things that may happen tomorrow. That's for tomorrow to deal with. Today, our goal is to maximize while it's called today. It doesn't matter if 2 weeks have just gone poof, if you don't know even where they went, or if you know exactly where they went, but you don't know how it's possible that it happened so quickly. That's okay. What can you do to maximize while it's called today? How can you be the best you that you can be today? Who can you say I love you to and really truly mean it? Who can you show? Because sometimes words are so easy to say and actions so hard to do. Who can you show just how much you love them to today? What's the one thing that you can do today? Ask that question. Answer this for me. I'd love to see you post the answer to this. What will you do today? Not what are you going to do tomorrow, but what will you do today? You know what? It's just as okay to have the answer be today, I'm going to take a nice nap. I'm spending time with my kids. I'm on vacation. Any of those things. It doesn't have to be about today, I'm going to find the cure for cancer. It's just about being the best you that you can be today. And sometimes those things that seem trivial and insignificant compared to some of the bigger things we feel propelled for, those are really the big things. Hug and squeeze those little babies, even when they're being little chumps, and tell them I love you and you're wonderful. Give somebody a big hug today. If you can't do it live, do it virtually. Use the hug emoji and let somebody know how special they are to you, and just in general how special they are. And maximize while it's called today. Don't worry if 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades even have gone poof and you don't know where they are. Just be the best you that you can be today. Just live thriving and truly free. Be exceedingly, abundantly above all that you can ask or even think. Be open to it because it's coming. If you're willing to accept it, it's waiting in the wings, just wanting to come to you. And now's your day to maximize the most powerful of all things today. Thanks so much for spending some time with me here today. I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved. That you know how special and important you are in this world. That somebody also, while you're sending out live or virtual hugs, somebody gives you a great big hug today too and tells you you're amazing because you are. Thanks for spending time with me. Until we're together again next time, have an amazing today. Maximize it. Live truly free, thriving, exceedingly abundantly, above all that you can ask or even think. We'll talk soon.